Valencia is interested in Pablo Torre. His contract ends in 2026, so he would have to extend it before going out on loan. Valencia, just like with other Barca players such as Hector Ford or Joan Garcia, is waiting for the club to make decisions. Could he be transferred with Barca, keeping a buyback option? I would think it's fine. I would think it's really fine. Honestly, I would think it's really good if Barca, when he leaves, what is it that he's leaving? I think he's going to leave. Pablo Torre. There are 3 or 4 players who are almost certainly going to leave this season, like Ansu Fati to Monaco. Ter Stegen is likely to leave, along with Pau, Victor, Pablo Torre, Christensen, and Iñaki Peña, totaling 6 players. 6! These 6 players are very, very likely to leave. And I think that if Barca keeps a buyback option for most of these players, obviously with Ter Stegen, I'm not talking about the young players, it would be very interesting. Very interesting, because you never know what can happen in football. You just never know. And Pablo Torre is a wonderful footballer, honestly, Pablo Torre. In the first division, I think that except for Atletico de Madrid and Real Madrid, he could be a starter in any team. In any team, that's my point of view. I think Pablo Torre has quality. He's an outstanding player. He has tremendous quality. It appears to me that in any first division club, excluding Real Madrid and Atletico de Madrid, at Atletico, he could play, but he would be a starter in every other team without exception. So, could Valencia be a good team for Pablo Torre? It could be. Honestly, it could be, because he's a player who, as I said, has a great shot and tremendous quality. And at the Chi Club, he could really shine. I mean, he could play very well there. Pablo Torre at Valencia, or potentially Villarreal, Betis, or Sevilla, which is also rebuilding. I mean, a player with Abde's quality and the fact that Barcelona is unlikely to give him much playing time, it raises the question, why keep him at the club? Because there's Dani Olmo, there's Fermin, there's Gavi. If a winger or someone else arrives, there's no spot for them. Even Pedri practically doesn't have a place. There are 3 or 4 players ahead of him, so I think that at his age, he's a footballer who needs to get minutes. He needs to get a lot of minutes and play in the first division. Therefore, I think this move would be wonderful for Barca and for the player. It would be wonderful, really, really good. This would be a very good move for Pablo Torre and for Barca, because he needs to play. I repeat, his contract ends next year on June 30th, 2026. So I think this year, this upcoming season, which will start in August. Right. By the way, we have the start date of the season, which will be the week of August 15th, specifically Friday, August 15th. Will there already be a match? The opening match of the season will start the league, and Pablo Torre has to be in some club. And well, since Barca is not going to guarantee him minutes, well, I think this move is good, and that Pablito Torre plays anywhere else because he deserves it. He's an international and a leader with Spain's under-21 team. He's even the one who plays, the one who takes all the set pieces, because, I repeat, I know I'm being repetitive, but he has impressive quality. And if Pedri, Gavi and company weren't there, maybe he would play for Barca, but he doesn't have a spot, and I think he hasn't adapted. He has been given numerous chances but hasn't progressed, which is understandable considering the competition he faces. I believe Pablo Torres would be a guaranteed starter at Valencia, Betis, Villarreal and Real Sociedad. As long as, for example, for example isn't the word, as long as he works hard, gives his all on the field, and does everything the coach asks of him. That's absolutely clear, because no one is going to be given a starting spot just because of their good looks. No matter how good you are, you can be really good, have a lot of skill, have a magic touch with that right leg. If you don't compete, run or train well, you won't play. And there, I think Barca is doing the right thing by selling him or loaning him out, but including a buyback option. I think that's a good move by Barca, a good move by Deco. And we'll see what happens with the situation. Pablo Torres, leave your opinion in the comments and hit the like button. Here's my take on the Pablo Torres topic. With this breaking news from our colleagues at El Demarque, they are the ones providing this information that Valencia is waiting to see what happens with the Cantabrian footballer Pablo Torre. We'll see what happens. We need to discuss Andreas Kristensen too. I brought it up on the Twitch morning show already. That Fabrizio Romano, on the show he has with DAZN, a show where they review the transfer market, has said it openly. It surprised me because when the season ended just 15 or 20 days ago, he came back from the injury, which was really tough for him this year, Andreas Kristensen. And the Barça fans really liked his minutes in this last stretch of the season. We liked them. We said, damn, he finished even better than Araujo. It appeared he had a valid contract and would stay at Barça. But, ladies and gentlemen, here's the surprise. The transfer market genius, Fabrizio Romano, has openly said that just like Ansu Fati, just like some others we've already mentioned before, that they could leave Barça. Andreas Christensen is also in that departure position. He has received offers and says his decision will depend on them, but he's a player who could potentially leave the team. I promise you that in my tier list that I made just recently, I wasn't counting on Kristensen leaving. I was counting on Kristensen staying with the team. With QRC, Inigo Martinez, and Araujo, will you have 3 center backs after Christensen's departure? So I thought Kristensen would stay, and then there would be 4. We have a backup for each center back, that is 2 per position. In addition to Eric Garcia, who can also play as a right back or center back, even as a pivot. But the truth is that seeing that he has been injured for many months, and that he has come back at a good level and has felt comfortable. I've seen him performing well. I thought he would remain in Hansi Flick's tactical plan. But seeing that Fabrizio puts him on the market, well, obviously, I think he's more likely to leave than to stay. And we'll see what happens with his departure. Whether it will be by contract termination, since he came for free, or if Chris leaves and brings in money for the club. Barça will save on his salary, gaining some financial fair play. But I was surprised, I admit it, I was surprised that the Kristensen situation is still an open case because I was counting on him. Both myself and many other Barça fans, I think we are counting on him. And we'll see what happens. Because over in Arabia, they're knocking on the door like this. And they're putting a lot of money on the table. So, watch out because Kristensen has a high chance of leaving Football Club Barcelona. Another open case, we'll see what happens. Let me know your opinion about Kristensen in the comments too. Would you keep him or do you think he should leave? Let's see if he leaves. Nothing's going to happen. Obviously the world won't end. But I repeat, it surprised me. Fabrizio Romano is reporting it, which is significant, right? Intriguing. To conclude the discussion on outgoing transfers, I will briefly comment on the Ansu Fati situation, as there isn't much more to say. And the Barça forward from La Masia has practically everything settled, that's it. With Monaco, as we mentioned a couple of weeks ago, Jorge Mendes and Monaco together with Barça. What they are negotiating are the important details, which is nothing more and nothing less. That. Who is going to pay Ansu Fati's full salary? That is, Monaco can't cover all of Ansu's salary, and Barça doesn't want to pay it either. So that's the issue. That's why Ansu Fati's situation hasn't been resolved yet, but everything suggests that in the coming weeks, Ansu will arrive at Monaco. We'll see how the contract situation turns out. Let me know in the comments what you think about Ansu Fati's situation as well, and your thoughts on the overall review in this video. Kristensen, Pablo Torre, and Ansu Fati, 3 players who are about to leave Barça. Barça yesterday, today, and always.